Robert Frost is one of the most widely read and beloved of American poets, as well as one of his greatest.
Four-time Pulitzer Prize-winning poet, Robert Frost was a national celebrity, famous for writing poems about rural life using American colloquial speech.
Robert Frost is well known for a few poems that he managed to lodge in everyone's head. Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening, also Mending Wall, and The Road Not Taken, of course, is probably the most famous of all of his poems.
While most people associate Robert Frost with New England, he was born in San Francisco on March 26, 1874, and he moved to New England at age 11 after the death of his father.
Frost began writing poetry in high school, where he met his future wife, Eleanor White. He briefly attended Dartmouth, then went to Harvard in 1897, but left before graduating due to illness and his wife's pregnancy. After Harvard, Frost took up farming.
During this time, he lost 2 children to influenza, and he wasn't a very good farmer. The farm did not thrive, but his work thrived.
While Frost was able to get a few poems published, he was unable to get a book published. So in 1912, he sold his farm and took his family to live in England, hoping to find better luck with publishers.
Within a few months of arriving in England, Frost found a publisher for his poems.
The first book, A Boy's Will, was reviewed rather quickly by none other than Ezra Pound, who gave it a very favorable review.
Shortly after World War I broke out, Frost moved back to the United States and settled in Franconia, New Hampshire, where he wrote and began his long teaching career, starting off at Amherst College.
Robert Frost was really the first bard on campus. He taught at various universities, Amherst, Michigan, Harvard, Dartmouth, Middlebury.
He moved around a lot. He was in and out of universities, and as he used to call it, barding around.
By the end of his career, Robert Frost was showered with honors. He received over 40 honorary degrees. He also received the Congressional Gold Medal and 4 Pulitzer Prizes.
At the age of 86, in 1961, Robert Frost was asked to read at John Fitzgerald Kennedy's inauguration.
The land was ours before we were the land. She was our land more than 100 years before we were her people.
At the time, it was as much an honor for Kennedy as it was for Frost.
Robert Frost died in Boston, Massachusetts at the age of 89 on January 29, 1963. Poetic to the end, Frost's tombstone read, "I had a lover's quarrel with the world."
When Amherst College built the Robert Frost Library, Kennedy agreed to give the keynote address, and it was one of the great speeches of his presidency. In that speech, Kennedy wrote, "When power corrupts, poetry cleanses." He was thinking very much of Robert Frost as a poet who spoke truth to power.
Robert Frost felt very strongly about form. He once famously said, "Free verse is like playing tennis without a net. It ain't tennis." And Frost was tennis all the way.